active in terms of discussing yung mga issues sa Deped sa mga guro, no? Dun sa mga miscellaneous payments among others. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Saan galing itong it seems na malapit sa puso niya when you share yung mga stories ng mga gurus, ng mga estudyante. Ako, of course, teacher din ako. So, malapit din sa puso niya. I mean, I teach in the University of the Philippines. So, yung mommy ko ay guro din. So, I come from a family of educators. I'm an educator myself. So, obviously, malapit din sa puso ko yan. So, I wanted to understand, Senator, where does that come from? That concern about the Deped. The reason I'm saying this, Senator, is because yung education system natin ay talagang malalim yung problema talaga dyan. In fact, I heard a lot of experts telling us, parang ticking time bomb yan in a sense na nung pandemic, daming delays. Kung titignan mo yung World Bank studies doon sa functional literacy, ang baba ng scores natin, even compared sa hindi lang Asia, no? Yung mga ibang napakahirap na bansa. So, I just want to understand, Senator, where is this coming from? Is it because you also recognize ang lalim ng problema, ang daming abuso nangyari, something radical has to be done? Because ang dami pwede pang ibang problema na pag-usapan sa bansa, di ba? Exactly.
Thank you for bringing that up and for asking that very important question. It started more than a decade ago.
Right.
Now, when I kept getting complaints from parents na may mga anak sa public elementary and high school and their complaints are pare-pareho na sinisingil yung kanilang mga anak for the contribution, pambili ng electric fan, pambili ng jobos, chalk, yung mga supplies sa school, pambayad sa kuryente ng eskwelahan, pambayad ng security guard, janitor, stuff like that. And they're using the PTA para makapag-kolekta sila na they know there's a law na bawal yon. So they said, well, it's Parents Teachers Association initiative and it's voluntary. So sinasabi ko palagi, kung voluntary yan, ba't marami nagko-complain sa akin? By the thousands, we have to put a stop to it. May budget naman ng Deped for that. Meron naman yung MOOE. So year in and year out, palaging kailangan may contribution. Ito pa, Richard, those children, those students who are not able to give that voluntary contribution that they're asking, napapahiya, nilalagay sa group chat. Ito, hindi pa nakapagbigay. Ito, nagbigay na.
So, binubully sila, effectively.
Exactly. It's being bullied and pinapagalitan sa lahat ng mga klase. Sabihin, ito, hindi pa nag-contribute to. Ito, nag-contribute na. Ikaw, hindi ka pa nag-contribute. So, I was telling Deped for so many years, even the previous administration said, stop. But they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They said, we don't want to meddle into that kind of issue because it's a PTA, Parents Teachers Association. They talked about it in their meetings and they both agreed, the parents and the teachers, na magkaroon ng contribution for the improvement of the school. Sabi ko, teka muna, what is the purpose of the PTA? Sabi ko, di ba ang purpose ng PTA? For the teachers and the parents, they will talk about the academic performance of their students.
And how to improve it.
And how to improve it, not how to improve your eskwelahan, your room, how to buy paints, how to buy chalks, flower-based, electric fans.
Especially mahirap yung mga estudyante.
Exactly.
No?
Sabi ko, kaya nga pumunta dyan sa public school because mahirap to. As a matter of fact, Richard, sabi pa nga ng Deped, itong recent budget hearing namin, sabi, we have this, what we called yung feeding program. And the purpose of them having that feeding program in public schools para maengganyo yung mga bata dahil karamihan sa kanila they're so poor, malnourished and they go to school hungry. So when they get to their classroom, they fall asleep or some of them don't go to school anymore. To avoid that, para hindi magkaroon ng dropout, nagkaroon ng feeding program. Sabi ko, no, it defeats the purpose na you having that feeding program and yet sinisingil mo yung mga estudyante.
Nilalagay mo ng laman dito, nilalabas mo yung laman dyan sa kabila.
Exactly. And then, how about those students na umasa na sa 4-piece yung parents? So, what happens to those kids na walang, yung mga parents na umasa na sa 4-piece from the government? So, you will ask a voluntary contribution from them. Kasi kung minsan meron yung tinatawag na peer pressure. O nga, voluntary. Pero yung mga katabi mong mga estudyante, nagbibigay, ikaw wala. Pag uwi mo ng bahay, si ganitong kaibigan
especially mga bata, di ba? Nagko-compare sila eh.
Exactly. At may konting tuksuan dyan. So I said, it has to stop. And I'm very glad that Deped did agree with me na they will come out with a department order putting a stop to this voluntary contribution to the PTA.
So, Senator, what you're saying is that this is not about a particular administration or person.
Not at all.
This is a culture of abuse
Thank you.
bullying na nangyari.
That's
na
the right
sobrang
word.
matagal.
That's the right word.
So you're trying to fight against that culture of abuse, yeah?
Culture of abuse. It's been happening for the past so many years, 2 administrations before. Not this administration, maski pa yung mga nakarang
Yeah, exactly. This is a kultura na to
Kultura.
eh. Hindi ito one leadership or one administration among others. I mean, there was an episode recently when you brought out the list
Yes.
quite dramatically. I mean, you were
Yes.
quite emotional when you were
Yes.
doing that. I'm sure some people say, oh, yan, the drama na
No,
naman si Senator.
I still
But
have the list. More than
But that's my point.
10,000
I
of
mean,
them.
how did you get it? What's the process? How do you, like,
Very easy.
yeah,
As easy as ABC.
yeah.
Because I have these complainants that went to my show, and then when I post it, after I interview them, and then it went viral,
Yeah.
and then we have thousands and thousands of complaints in the comment section. Said, ako rin nakaranas ako ng ganun. Ako rin yung anak ko. Ako rin yung anak ko. Ako. And from different provinces, from different towns, from different
And
cities.
genuine mga tao na to. Hindi
Genuine
ito mga
to eh.
bots. Hindi,
Hindi
mga-
to troll.
Yeah. Alam mo
Hindi
naman,
to troll.
daming troll sa
No.
social media.
Hindi to
yeah.
troll. And nag-testing kami more than 200 randomly, and then pinili namin different provinces and
Yeah.
different towns, cities, etc. And they said, yes, talagang pati kami nakaranas yan, dapat i-stop na yan. Thank you, Mr. Tulfo, for bringing that up. Thank you, Senator. And we hope na sana ma-solusyon na yung problema yan.
So systemic talaga yung problema.
That's why I said,
Yun nga.
i-print nyo yan, lahat ng mga nag-comment, nagpadala ng comments about that sa problema sa Deped. So, kinumpile namin at inabot ng ganun pagkahaba because there are more than 10,000 ata.
Yeah, I mean, Senator, again, I'm siguro biased ako sa education and all of that, but yun nga, ang lalim ng problema, and when you ask about it, all of the surveys, etc., sobrang napag-iwanan ng Pilipinas. So kahit fastest growing economy tayo, etc., kung yung basic education natin problemado. Kami nga, nakikita namin sa graduate school at university, kasi yung mga umaakit ngayon, yung kalidad, it's not like before, no? So there's something more fundamental there. But Senator, beyond yung pointing out yung culture of bullying and trying to protect people, are you also, do you have a kind of a initiative to help na talagang iakyat yung antas, yung kalidad ng edukasyon, especially sa basic education?
I think it starts with the teachers. Dapat how can we get quality teachers? How can we get good teachers kung mababa ang pasweldo? And some of these teachers are being abused dahil being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Nakarinig ka ba ng mga loan sharking sa mga teachers na
Kawawa
na wala silang nilalagay na ceiling cap na kung hanggang saan lang dapat sila pinapayagan na mangutang at magkakaroon ng tinatawag na automatic deduction. Marami mga teachers lubog sa utang. So paano pa ma-concentrate na magtuturo na iniisip nila yung paano nila mabayaran yung utang at ang bababa ng sweldo. So some teachers would rather go abroad in Singapore, in Brunei, because the pay is better. So, hindi tayo makakuha ng better teachers kung ang sweldo natin sa mga teachers mababa at kuminsan na take advantage pa sila. Pagdating sa election, sa COMELEC, ginagamit sila, iba sa kanila, hindi pa nababayaran. So, we should stop that. We should treat our teachers better.
We should take care of our teachers too, right?
Take care of our teachers because the teachers takes care of
yung
the students.
estudyante, exact. And overall, that takes care of the economy in the country kung maayos yung education
And then, of course,
system,
dapat yung mga textbook nasa ayos kasi may mga balita tayo, mga textbook, mali-mali yung spelling, mali yung grammar, mali-mali yung mga information na nakalagay doon. So, kasama rin doon.
Kailangan ayusin. Of course, Senator, the other thing you're quite known for is also labor rights issues. You're active on this also, especially yung OFWs natin.
Yes.
Kasi, of course, I also worked back in the day dun sa legislature, dun sa mga OFW affairs, sa mga others. Marami tayong mga kaibigan, kamag-anak ng OFWs. So, lalong na sikat kayo sa mga yan because, you kind of represent their channel to some sort of justice. Can you tell us a little bit about this, the OFW issue and what are you doing on that front dito sa Senado?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the OFWs for supporting me. They've been supporting me for so long.
Right.
I can no longer remember the year when they started supporting me, but I know I wouldn't be Rafi Tulfo had it not been for the support of the OFWs. That's why I really love them so much. Right. And I'll do everything to make sure na malalagay sila sa kabutihan, yung kanilang kapakanan ay maprotektahan. Now, what is the problem of the OFWs? You know?
Well, saan tayo magsimula? I mean,
Dito tayo simula.
yeah.
Now, lahat ng ating OFWs, they go abroad for the sake of their family,
course.
for the sake of the future of their family. And so, when they get there, magtatrabaho sila. Blood, sweat, and tears. And then, habang nag-work sila, nababalitaan nila back in their country, back here in the Philippines, na yung kanilang anak ay minamaltrato, inaabuso, minumolestya, and then yung kanilang naiwan na mister, ng babae, lasenggo, etc. Yun yung pinaka-nightmare ng marami sa ating mga OFWs. Unfortunately, napakarami niyan. Napakataas ang bilang
Yung
niyan.
social cost, no? Ang laki ng social cost, yeah.
And that's when I come in. And that's when I give solution to the problem. That's when I ask these DMWs OWA to change some policies para mag-fit in dito sa mga problema ng mga OFWs na masolve yung mga problema na kinaharap nila. Yung mga nightmares nila, mabigyan natin ng solusyon at magising sila na okay na yung problema nila. Wala na.
Senator, are you looking at, I mean, in fairness, at least naman yung economy natin medyo umangat over the past decade or so. We're the fastest growing economy in Southeast Asia, but still, unemployment is a big problem, inclusive growth is a big problem. Are you hoping that down the road, maging optional na lang, in the real sense of the word, na pwede ka magtrabaho sa Pilipinas as much as you can, medyo mas maganda lang bayad abroad. Hindi yung situation na desperado ka kaya nang abroad ka. Kasi this issue of labor exporting is very unique to the Philippines over the past 4 decades or so, di ba?
Dalawa yan, Richard. Una, malaking tulong yung pag-export natin.
Of course, contribution
like
sa economy natin. Yeah.
Sa economy natin. In fact, there were several times na nagkaroon ng global recession at hindi tayo masyadong apektuhan dahil sa ating mga OFWs. Meron tayong cushion. At what social cost. Ito na nga. Yeah. Kung akong tatanungin, mas maganda kung wala na sa ating OFWs na nagtatrabaho sa abroad because alam ko yung hirap na magdinanas ng mga OFWs na sa abroad. But the problem is, we don't have enough investment that will propel our economy so that these OFWs don't have to go abroad. Wala eh. Walang tayo sa mga investors. And another problem siguro, bakit wala masyadong nagtitiwala sa ating mga investors, bureaucratic red tape, corruption, electricity, price of the rent, infrastructures, and then maybe we have to change some legislation to accommodate these investors' needs, etc., etc.
Are you? I mean, I know that there are other committees and other senators focus on those issues, but ease of doing business on the investment front, are those issues that you're also invested in the sense that kasi kung may pakikasama yung OFW issues, eventually you have to make the Philippine economy accommodate more and more people dito sa ating bansa para hindi sila mag-abroad under very difficult conditions.
Yes. Kailangan talaga natin mga investors. We need investors. We need them. Pero unfortunately, with the present setup, especially sa ating peace and order situation, in fact, on Monday, I'll be giving a privileged speech tungkol dito sa nangyaring rampant kidnapping.
So this is early December. Just to be clear, once this show is out. So in early December, you're going to have a privileged speech on...
Yes.
Right.
Pertaining to this rampant kidnapping. Filipino Chinese and Chinaman, or if I can call it Chinaman, Filipino Chinese or people
citizens
from China,
of
citizens
Republic
of China,
China.
from
Yeah.
POGO, they're being kidnapped. And the latest of which is inside an exclusive subdivision, well-guarded, gated subdivision, doon nangyari mismo yung kidnapping. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Kung hindi nga safe yung mga well-guarded subdivision, gated subdivision, nakapag-kidnap sila ng mga tao doon, paano pa tayo?
Nowhere safe.
Yeah. Nobody's safe anymore. And that has to be addressed. Now, pag narinig yan ng mga investors, whoa, wait a minute, why should I go there?
Yeah.
We should go somewhere else. We should go to Singapore, Vietnam.
Kasi Banana Republic to. Parang
exactly.
Diyan,
baka makidnap tayo. Kung sa loob ng subdivision, they are not protected, these people, paano na tayo mga investors? So, we have to take care of that problem. That's why I'm going to have a privileged speech, and then later I'll file a resolution to investigate all these kidnappings. And based on my research and some information that I received, there are some, unfortunately, it's bad news. There are some people in the
government institutions.
I'm not going to mention anyway.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Na supposed to be these people are the ones who should protect the citizens, the people,
Right.
from being kidnapped. They're the ones who are part of the kidnappers.
Because
Members
maraming pera
of-
involved, no? I mean,
members
this
of
is
the
a
syndicate
dirty,
in kidnapping. Yeah.
I mean, Senator, I mean, of course, you're not the first to raise this issue. This has been quite the POGO issue, concerns with criminality, concerns with tax evasion. This was raised even before you became a senator. Are you in favor of like banning the POGOs altogether or anything like POGOs in the future? I mean,
Banning the POGO altogether.
that's your stance, yeah.
That is my stand. Hopefully next year, POGO will be gone because I'm the one who signed to ban POGO forever, not letting them come back anymore. Of course, but we have to give them at least a year or two.
A due process
A due
transition,
process, yeah,
para
transition.
and Senator, you're not worried about your safety and all of that when you take care of all. I mean, medyo controversial mga binabanggaan mo to, di ba? I mean, kung sindikato ang target ng mga investigation, and di ba?
If it's your time, your time.
That's your philosophy.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a separate podcast on yung resilience and all of that. Lalo yung mga kabataan, gustong-gusto. Can you give me a snippet before we go to the last part of this discussion? Like, where does this courage come from? I mean, how do you become courageous but not stupid? I mean, if I could put it that way, like, how do you find that balance? Kasi syempre, because you have to be around to help, right? Kung medyo hindi ka nag-iisip, then you're gone. Then you cannot help people. How do you find that balance, Senator? Of course, with best wishes.
Yeah, if you've seen so much suffering and you see the big inequality, napakataas ng gap,
Yeah.
and then suffering from these poor people, the voiceless one, sinisipa-sipa, pinipitik-pitik, inaapi-api, niyurak-yurakan yung kanilang mga karapatan, that will make you angry. And then yung mga nang api nandun sa itaas, and then especially people from the government who's supposed to help them and protect them, ito yung mga nang-aapi. And ito yung mga nang-aapi lumalapit sa umiiyak, face to face. You talk to them every day. Manginginig ka sa galit. So I, sitting on my chair dyan sa TV5, and you see what I'm talking about. Pag nakita mo in tears, people are crying because they've been oppressed, and then they're nowhere to go, they're hungry. Doon yung galit ko nanggagaling. So naipon-ipon yan. So when I go out there, then that's when I, boom.
So it's that righteous anger, that sense of righteous anger, that there's so much injustice there na kung iisipin ko pa yung sarili ko, oy, baka delikado.
I don't think of myself anymore.
Tutulong sa kanila.
Exactly. I don't think of myself anymore. Yeah. Because for me, I would rather think of these people who's been coming to me every day because they trusted me, because they know that when they come to me, I can do something about their problems, their solution, give them solutions. And first of all, I wouldn't be Rafi Tulfo hadn't that been for them. So it's just proper that I have to make sure na yung trust and confidence nila sa akin ay mapapalitan ko.
I remember talking to your brother, Erwin Tulfo. He was telling something about also how your parents brought you up, your mom, that sense of helping other people. I mean, there's also this family values thing, no?
Yeah.
Of social service, of giving back to the community since then.
Yeah, my mom, I can remember when I was in the elementary, nakita ko yung mga asawa ng sundalo pupunta sa mom ko, manghihingi ng pera, manghihiram, marami kami noon, pati kami, naghihirap din. So, sinasanla nung mom ko yung kanyang mga alahas para lamang may maibigay doon sa mga asawa ng sundalo na humingi ng tulong. Bibigyan ng bigas, kakainin lang namin. Binibigay pa doon sa mga asawa ng sundalo na maraming mga anak. So, I grew up with that kind of environment.
Yeah. Yun yung ecosystem ng values. No? So, naturally, you and your brothers have been carrying this forward. Last point, of course, view from Manila. Usually, yung mga kasama namin dito, ambassadors, diplomats, etc. Philippine Sea. Pag-usapan natin yung West Philippine Sea. Itong last part, siguro, para sa akin, ito yung pinaka-exciting in a certain sense because, of course, I mean, hindi pa ako ganun katanda, but in the whole time na around ako, parang napansin ko, ito yung time na nakikita natin lumalabas yung Filipino nationalism, yung sense of yung dignity natin, dapat lumaban tayo, something like that. What is your take on this? I mean, for me, this is like a rebirth of the Filipino nation. Kasi kahit sino kausap mo ngayon, may masabi na sa West Philippine Sea. It's almost a gut issue. When 10 years ago, no one knew anything or two about West Philippine Sea. What is your stance on this?
Hindi ba nakaka-high blood? Pero ako rin, high blood na, but I don't want to go to war with China.
Yeah.
Sino ba naman tayo? Of course, as much as possible, dapat iiral yung diplomacy. Pero for now, you know, BBM did the right thing when he went to Hawaii and talked to the Americans
in the Pacific Command.
Pacific Command
Yeah.
na para escortan yung mga Philippine Coast Guard natin na magdala ng supply doon sa mga tropa natin sa Ayungin Shoal. Yung medyo nag-back off yung China.
Yeah.
See, I've been saying this all along na dapat tulad ng ibang bansa, merong mag-escort sa mga barko natin